What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Wherever you are in the world, welcome to the Armoury. Welcome to Brentford versus Arsenal match preview for the Carabao Cup. We are going to quickly talk about Tottenham. They're not in it, so there we go. That's that covered. But we've got the wonderful Gunner King. How are you doing, Gunner King?
Yep. Yeah, it's great to be on and excited about tomorrow's match. And only Tottenham would, laugh at us for drawing to Fulham and then go out of the competition against Fulham in their very next competitive game, to go out of the competition before you even play the game. You know, some things, they just never change.
Exactly. Let's get into the comments. There's a couple already. Gunner King is already in the comments. Come on, you Gunners. Exactly. Big up to Tony Fulbrook saying, evening, Bobby and Gunner King. So obviously we've got the Carabao Cup tomorrow night. Unfortunately, we can't do it as a watch long due to the fact it's not on TV, hasn't been selected. So there will be a match reaction. I have literally no idea when. It'll either be straight after the game with Gumsa. If not, we've got plans to do one Thursday daytime. How are you feeling about it? Because I've seen a lot of people's teams. Obviously, we've got 9 to go through tonight, so we have to try and go through some of them quite quick. How are you feeling? Because a lot of people have literally just rested pretty much the whole first team. Do you feel this is important? Because for me, I've been brought up to expect Arsenal to win every game, no matter what competition. So go hard or go home. Simple as that for me. But how do you feel about the competition yourself?
For me, to be honest, I think, like in any usual case anyway, I think, if we had the squad that could compete on 4 fronts, that I'd feel comfortable is, like well within its limits, in terms of both quality and depth, then by all means, go for everything. Now, at the moment, I don't really think we have that. I think we've taken a step in the right direction, but I also think adjusting to life without Xhaka is taking a bit of time. And also, we've got 5 injuries at the moment as well. We've got Timber out, Rice came off the other day. Saka might be, he went off as well with a little niggling injury. Martinelli, Trossard. So I think we've got to manage the squad a little carefully as well. And I think, 4 points behind City, top of our Champions League group. I really think that's where our focus should be. The FA Cup would be the domestic cup that I would rank after that we would kind of prioritize. So I think also, in order to be able to perform to our top level in those competitions, we need to get players into the squad. We need to get minutes into them. So like players like Smith Rowe, Havertz, Vieira, I think, players like Tomiyasu, Kiwior, Ramsdale as well, Nelson, Nketiah, Yeah, Vieira as well. I don't know if I mentioned him, but yeah, all of these guys, I think you want to kind of give them minutes, give them an opportunity to kind of state their case to play in the other games. And also, I think conversely as well, I think there's some interesting, exciting talents in our under-23 team that I think, with these injuries that you could kind of say, look, you know what, let's just keep these on the periphery. Yeah, let's just give them these minutes in these competitions, see what they can do. Players like Skelly, Nanweri, Walters, and Souza as well. I think those are the four that I'm looking at. I'm thinking, look, our fullback options are quite light. With sort of the situation that we got. I think why not midfield? Nanweri. That's the sort of area that he operates in. Skelly as well. And then in terms of the wide area, you've got Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall, sorry, Koza Dewsbury. That would be another one that I'll be thinking, let's see what they can do, man. So that's the way I look at it. I think I want to prioritize those competitions, but I think we need to balance the squad a bit. I really want to prioritize the game against Bournemouth away, and also Lens as well. We then got Chelsea and Man City coming up. So again, 2 Big Six games. We've played 2 more Big Six opponents than Liverpool and Man City.
Yeah.
By the time we play these 2, that's 4. So you really want to be keeping your best players for those games.
Yeah. Look, I agree. They obviously Gunner King is going to rate all the squads. However, someone has put a player in that I'm sorry, whatever Gunner King goes with, I'm halving the score because this player should not be anywhere near the Arsenal team.
He's going to say Cedric, isn't he?
Someone has picked Cedric, yes. Sorry, whatever score you go with, I'm halving it because they need to be punished for that. That is ridiculous. I have no wish to see him anywhere near.
That's what I said. You know what? Try Walters. See what Walters is about. Because he's been doing. Both him and Souza have been really excelling in the under-23 setup, and I think if that's what your squad's like, this is what these academy players are for. Remember, a few years ago, Saka was injured. This is how he staked his claim. Now look at him,
exactly.
Shining. And the thing is, Walters can play across the back line as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So, he gives you a centre-back option and a full-back option on both sides.
He does. And that's what's annoyed me about the person that's picked Cedric. It's really frustrating me.
Yeah, I just think it's time, man. You got the quality, use it, man.
Yeah, exactly. Why are we going to play Cedric? We don't want him. He doesn't really want to be at the club. So see you later. I never want to see you again.
I'm not really thinking about it from that perspective. I'm more thinking about it from he's at his ceiling and he's leaving. He's not part of our long-term future. So we might as well focus our attention on who our long-term future orientates around. And it is these youngsters that are coming through,
Exactly.
You watch these guys, you'll see I definitely think he can make it. And I'm not saying he necessarily needs to start, even if Cedric or someone else started in that area and then he came on and got some minutes. Just let's see what he can do, man.
Yeah. Big up to my pod brother. Hope you're doing well, Brenny. Hope you had a lovely birthday yesterday as well. We did wish you happy birthday on Sunday. So now
big up, Brenny, man.
Happy birthday. Luke, these League Cup previews are so hard to preview when we don't know which players the managers will use. Well, we'll go into the injury list in a minute. It's not just us that's got a massive injury list. Brentford have as well. So, to be honest, the challenge is the challenge 2.0 today. It is the hardest challenge anyone's ever had to do because there is no squad to pick from. It's really hard. Everyone's saying hello to each other, which is lovely. Tony, he's late again. I'm going to punish you, Tony. I'm going to punish you. Greetings all. We have a squad of 25 players. If the manager won't ever select them, then what are they doing at Arsenal Football Club? 100%.
Spot on, man.
Brenny,
definitely agree.
100%, Luke. Right, let's get into the injury list because it is massive for both clubs. And unfortunately, I have had to put Saka as a doubt because he is a doubt for the next 2 games. And Rice is also a doubt. For definitely tomorrow, maybe the weekend as well. Trossard is out, Partey's out, Timber's out, Martinelli's out. However, Brentford's list is just as bad as ours. Tony is obviously suspended for the obvious reasons. The Silva is out, Damsgaard is out, Mee's out, Baptiste is out, Sade's out, and Rico Henry, who I absolutely adore, is also out.
He's really good. They've got another good fullback, that Hickey guy as well.
The guy that we were
Scottish fella.
Yeah.
Aaron Hickey, that's it. Yeah, he was playing in Italy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Who was he playing for again? Was it
he was Bologna.
Bologna, yeah.
Yeah.
Same as Tommy Yassi, yeah.
Yeah, very good. I love how
we were going to sign him when they signed him.
I love how there's always one player Bobby hates. Look, surprise, surprise, he's a fullback. I have a fullback allegiance. I am a right back at heart, and if there's someone I don't particularly like, and that is him, he has no bearing at our club, in my opinion. But we'll get onto those squads in a minute. Quickly, going into how Brentford and Arsenal have been performing so far this season. They are in 13th position. They've won 1, drawn 3, lost 2, 1.5 average goal scores, 1.5 average goals conceded, 1 clean sheet, 2.17 chances created. And this is where I keep saying this on previews. I'm really concerned that our chances created is so low.
It's so much lower, yeah.
And it's every single
game.
Agree. And it's concerning me now. It's, getting lower than Brentford. Like, seriously, Brentford play?
Do you know what I think it is? Yeah, I think there's a combination of things here, but I think what we underestimate is the verticality and the passing of Thomas Partey. Yeah. Like when he sits there as the 6, he's not just kind of sitting deep and breaking up play. He can carry the ball forward as well. And when he passes forward, like with those vertical passes that can break lines, what it does is it gives that license for the other 2 8s to just push that bit further forward. And just find pockets further forward where they can receive the ball, where they can be more threatening. I think that's a big thing. I'm not, no discrediting to Rice, but I think, and Rice is a good passer. I think like Rice, where his passing excels is when he makes diagonals. He's got a really good cross ball diagonal pass. But I think what Partey, and the thing is, I think this will come with Rice training with Partey over time. Just that, that vertical pass where you kind of pass it between lines, threading the eye of the needle through like the sort of midfield and defence. And, like Odegaard and Saka and Martinelli and Trossard, these guys can get on their bike, get on the other side of those balls. I think it helps, like with our chance creation a lot.
It does. I'd rather play a Scarecrow than Cedric. Yes. I'd rather play Chris Kwamia than Cedric, mate. That's how bad it is. No, big up to Chris Kwamia, though, really. Right, let's move on to my 5 to watch. This was hard for me to do because Brentford have got as many problems as we have, but I have managed to do 5.
Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be.
Now, obviously, Thomas may not pick these players at all. I have no idea what Thomas will pick, but these are the ones that, if he was to pick them, are a threat. Now, Keane Lewis Potter, I've watched him in the Championship. I've watched him at League One. He is extremely dangerous. He's their best player this season by far. Aaron Hickey, we've obviously just spoke about him. We were linked with him. I wanted him as well because of
I did as well.
He's left and right footed.
He can play on both flanks. Yeah,
he's so talented.
He's at Amperdale as well. Yeah, so he uses both his feet, doesn't he?
And it happens to be a Scotsman as well, which obviously you all know that I'm part Scottish, so I'm going to love him anyway. Wissa. Now, this guy, I didn't particularly like him a couple of seasons ago, to be fair, but he's definitely grown on me. He's a bit like Mwembo. He has grown on me. He is a pain in the butt, and I quite like that about him. He's a pain in the butt. We'll move on to Frank Okiaka. Just hard-working midfielder. That's all he is, and that is important to Brentford with the way that they play. And the final person is Jan Out. Now, this person is not spoken about enough. I think he's a bit like, I'm trying to think of a player, like a Jon Jensen type player. Didn't really do much, but did enough and helps the team just flow. And without Jan,
he's quite versatile as well, isn't he?
Yeah,
as well,
he is. And he's not spoken about enough. But so I'm going to speak about him because I quite like him, to be honest. But Brentford
have got a good set. They've got a good setup, haven't they?
Yeah, Thomas Frank is a very clever boss. He was the one that I voted for last season, the manager of the season, because I think that what he's managed to do at Brentford is impressive, because they don't spend big money. They don't.
No.
Yeah, they might have spent a bit more this summer, but last summer they didn't really spend much. Chances created, I've heard we like 12th in the league, yet Arteta thinks we're playing 10 times better. We're not playing 10 times better in the league. I have to be honest.
I think there's an argument the squad is better equipped, but we're not playing anywhere near as good as we were last season.
No.
And I think it's Xhaka. It's adjusting to life without Xhaka. That's what the main thing is.
Yeah.
It affects our chance creation, which obviously, that's why you're not seeing enough chances created. I still think we're trying to adjust to that. It'll take a bit of time, I think.
It's taking time. Havertz hasn't kicked on as well as Arteta was expecting. This was all Arteta's idea. He ignored the data analyst. The data analyst went with someone else. That person.
Vieira's slow cooking.
Yeah.
And we got ESR coming back though.
Yeah. Look, what I've heard through the grapevine is the person that we were trying to get last summer, we might try again. We'll wait and see. I hope so, because I love the guy. So I hope we do get him. But that won't be to go into the 8 role. It's more of a versatile midfielder that is more of a defensive midfielder as well. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting. I hope we do get him, because I love him. But we'll see. Right, it is time to talk about everyone's squad. So here we go. Right. Funny enough, we start with Gunner Kings. He did say he was on, so I made sure his team was first. So, Gunner King, talk about your team, mate.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ramsdale staked a claim to trying to stake a claim for his own place. I've gone with Walter, Real Walters on the right. Tomiyasu, Kiriro as the 2 centre backs. I think Tomiyasu, his natural role is a centre back, and I think I want to see some games where we explore trying to utilise him there. Kiriro, he can offer cover in the inverted left back role, inverting into defence, but I want to see what he can also do at centre back, and then give Sousa a run out. Why not? I think Elneny needs some minutes. Smith Rowe needs some minutes. Havertz, he also needs some minutes and to build up some confidence. And also, it's going to be quite a physical game. And I think those are the sorts of game states where we need Havertz in one of those 8 roles. Where it is going to get physical. Sort of, and you need sort of good pressing intelligence and capabilities in the centre of the park. Yeah. And yeah, I think try Vieira in that inverted, kind of like an inverted playmaker, like a false winger role on the left-hand side, maybe playing quite narrow. And then Nelson on the other side, more kind of like hugging the touchline, but also making incisive diagonal runs inwards. And Vieira trying to find him as he goes back into as he box crashes from that position, sort of into the box to get on the end of chances. Smith Rowe obviously playing quite narrow and doing the same, in that inverted half space as well. And, Vieira's, he's got that vision and creativity in his passing. I think that's, he's also a fairly good ball striker, but I think his creative, sort of talent should be used to kind of find those two.
Yeah.
And they can kind of carousel wheel in the same way that Saka and Odegaard do when they interchange on the other side, because they're both right-footed as well. Yeah. So, there's always that kind of coming into their stronger foot. Yeah. Whether they underlap or overlap each other to kind of create space. In the triangles that we use. Yeah. And obviously Sousa can get involved as well if he pushes up, to kind of form that triangle. And yeah, between him and Walters, they could almost change from when they're inverting into the defense and in the midfield. Even make that kind of interchangeable. To which side the 3 tucks into, if that makes sense. Whether it tucks in from the left side into defense or the right side from defense.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. It sounds just kind of interesting,
Yeah,
and then
from what I know about Lino, he can actually drop into defensive midfield as well. He can actually do an inverted role. And I've been told by Mehmet that he's doing an amazing job at that. So far, so good with Lino. Obviously, we got him from West Brom, which is one of my local teams. I'm excited. Yes, fullback allegiance again. I know. I'm sorry, but I'm so excited to see him. But I'm also excited to see Raw Waters. But I'm also excited to see Norton Coffey. I'm excited to see when he comes back because I think the decision time is on him.
I think as well. It's good to have them both coming up together at the same time.
Yeah,
you know, because Ben White is a natural centre back, so having other fullbacks allows you to kind of utilise him as a centre back. And I think as well, like defensive midfield, you know, like as a kind of deep anchoring midfielder, you know, like but also he's got good ball playing qualities. Ben White does, you know, good first touch, good passing. He's fairly comfortable on the ball, has a degree of press resistance. You know, so. It's just like, you know, it gives you all kinds of options. You know, that way, you know, if you do put him in the centre back rotation, then you've got two fullbacks on the bench or to the right hand side.
Yeah, it does. Let's get in the comments before we get into the next team. We're creating chances, but not hitting the net, says Tony. Unfortunately, the system that is used to do these, it's not being created. The chances aren't being created.
No. And the quality of chances isn't as high as it was last season in terms of like the XG output.
Yeah, I'm not a great fan of the XG. I've stated that very clearly. But when I do look at these chances created, it is a very good system that I trust. So yeah, it's not great at the moment. Big up to Gooner Greg. Hello, everyone. Still trying to get my head round 7 events. We all are, mate. We all are. I disagree, Tony. I don't think we're creating many chances. Think back to Sunday. Apart from Spurs giving us 2 chances themselves, how many did we actually create ourselves? Yeah, the less said about Sunday, the better. if I'm honest, I'm still angry. Luke, Jesus, and Nketiah but had chances, but I'm talking about the season so far. The season so far, we've not been, apart from PSV, I'm going to take out the PSV game because that was very good. I was 100% happy with that performance. The performances in the Premier League have not been good enough at all. I don't know what it is. Something's just not clicking, but it clicked in the PSV game. I don't understand it. But doesn't make much sense, if I'm honest, because it feels like Arteta was ready and able to get Premier League players playing and all that stuff. And I was slightly worried about the Champions League because he's not that experienced at European football, which is totally different to the Premier League. And it was vice versa. And I was like, what the heck's happened here? But it is what it is. Let's move on to the next team anyway. Big up to the Silva One, Jack and Jonas that went for this team. They went with Ramsdale. Oh, sorry, Gunner King. Can you rate your team? Don't do a 10. That's not allowed.
No. I think I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay.
You know, I think like the thing is, El Neni hasn't had minutes for a long time. Yeah. You know, Tommy Asu is very experimental, and you know it could go wrong. You know, given these youngsters like outings, but you know, I guess that makes it a bit risky. But
it does.
You know, I think the idea is just, you know, getting them minutes, seeing what they can do, like seeing what these experiments can show you, and how that could be useful to the first team.
Yeah, 100%. This is what the Silva One and Jack and Jonas have gone with. They've gone with Ramsdale, Tommy Asu, Kivior, Gabriel, Sousa, Jorginho, Havertz, Smith Rowe, Kozia Dubry, Nelson, and Nketiah. Now, give that one a rating, please, mate.
I think, yeah, I like that lineup. Yeah, I mean, you know, sort of Tommy Asu in the right back role, we know what he can do there. Kivior and Gabriel, 2 left-footed centre-backs, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I think we were doing that at the end of last season anyway, if I'm not mistaken, when there was injury. So, you know, again, you know, you've got Sousa kind of like inverting next to Jorginho, you know, to form that kind of box midfield. Yeah, I mean, you know, again, you know, like the thing with Nelson, I find like he could either be used on the inside space, in the inside corridor, or he could be told to hug the touchline because he's got a fairly decent technical base. You know what I mean? To be able to kind of be a bit more creative and, you know, like maybe like fizz cutbacks into the box for Nketiah instead of using them wider.
Yeah.
And yeah, like Coase, he's just really exciting, and he's just, like, yeah, it really is, man. I think like he reminds me of Saka, but obviously I think I don't think Saka was at this level technically in terms of IQ when he was that age.
Yeah.
That's what the scary thing is. I think like does he have a higher ceiling on that basis? Maybe it's too early to say that, but it could mean that, you know, like, yeah. So yeah, get him on, man. See what he can do.
Yeah.
See what he can do.
So we're going to give this one as a rating.
I'm going to give this an 8. You know.
Okay, fair enough, mate.
I like it's very well balanced. You know, like the pivot roles was like, you know, of Jorginho, Smith Rowe, and Havertz as well. Havertz sit a little bit deeper, and I'll get like Smith Rowe to bomb a little higher, and then they can kind of offset and delay how they box crash or like pass into the box. You know, like they could like kind of switch, you know, between who sits deeper and who goes forward, just to kind of pull people out of position.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fairly well balanced as well.
Yeah, Tony's giving your team a 7. Poppy is gangster, calling the Silva One. Exactly, it's the Silva One. It's gangster. The Silva One is 8. Tony's asking for a 9, but you've given it an 8, so he'll take that. Has someone got a TV on? No, what it is, Gunner King is in a coffee shop, I think. Is that where you are? Coffee shop?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, is there background noise?
Yeah, don't worry too much. It's not too bad. That's not a TV. It's Gunner King's fan club, says Tony. Right, let's move on to the next squad, chosen by GTalks, John and Mehmet. They've gone with Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Saliba, Kivior, Sousa, Jorginho, Havertz, Fabio Vieira, Nelson, Smith Rowe, and Eddie Nketiah. Now, what are you going to give this one as a rating, Gunner King? You're on mute, mate. You're on mute.
Yeah, I like this lineup as well. I think I'll give this one an 8. You know, like Saliba, Kiriro, both right, you know, sort of alternating foot. Yeah, you know, Vieira and Havertz in that midfield. Smith Rowe on the left, I suppose, playing more narrow. And then, yeah, on the other side, I'd have Nelson like either cutting inside or he can go on the outside on his right foot as well. So, yeah, you know, the good thing about Nelson is you can use him on either flank as well. So, yeah, I like this. Again, it's got that good balance in midfield. You know, Vieira a bit more technical. Havertz a bit more physical with a little bit of technical ability as well. Well, a lot, to be fair.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jorginho as well. So yeah, I really like the balance of that as well. You know, Tomiyasu could tuck in. Sousa can kind of, again, you know, sort of tuck into the midfield. Yeah, decent lineup.
8, 7, what rating?
I'll give this an 8 as well.
Right, stuff. Right, we're going to move on to the next one. This was chosen by Brenny K, Nicholas, and Miguel. They've gone for Ramsdale, Waters, Kivior, Tomiyasu, Sousa, El Neni, Havertz, Fabio Vieira, Kosia Dubry, Smith Rowe, and Eddie. What are you going to give this one as a rating, mate?
Yeah, I think I'm going to give this an 8. You know, Tomiyasu, Kiriro, I like you know, it seems like Brenny's had the same idea as well of trying Tomiyasu, you know, in the centre back role, because I think, yeah, you know, City have got a few. I'm not saying we need to try and beat City, but I'm just saying in terms of flexibility, if you do have defenders that can play across the line, it's good to get minutes into them in each position. You know, just so if they are asked to do any of the roles, they're able to kind of understand it more in depth. So, yeah. That's what I like about this. You know, it's the same sort of line of thinking with my lineup.
Yeah.
And yeah, experimenting with both the fullbacks, bringing Ramsdale back into the team, getting minutes into El Neni. You know, after Jorginho the other day in the North London derby, I think, you know, El Neni as well coming back to fitness, give him a tryout. And yeah, you know, again, Kosia and Smith Rowe, you know, getting minutes into those guys as well, seeing what they can do. Havertz and Vieira. And, you know, El Neni has a bit more kind of mobility and athleticism, you know, ability to cover big and wide spaces. So in that respect, he's more suited to that 6 role than Jorginho is. So I think that's something we should experiment with as well. See how we can like utilize that.
Yeah, I agree. Tony's giving GTalks an 8. Fair enough. And 7 to Brenny's. Yeah, I agree. Let's move on to the next lineup. Oh, I hated the fact. Right, I'll give you a bit of backstory. I didn't even have Cedric downloaded. I didn't have his picture. I didn't think anyone would ever pick him ever again. I had to download it just for Gumsa. So he's gone for Ramsdale, Cedric, White, Kivior, Tomiyasu, Jorginho, Havertz, Smith, Rowe, Fabio Vieira, Nelson, and Eddie Nketiah. Gunner King, go for it. Oh, picked by Gumsa, Brezzy, and Ben, by the way. Sorry.
I actually like this, and I'm going to explain. No, listen. Cedric isn't great defensively. Yeah. So have him inverted into midfield next to Jorginho. Yeah, and then that way that forms the base of the box with him and Jorginho, both on their strong foot. Well, I mean Jorginho, he's 5 foot, you know, on the left hand side of the base of the box.
Yeah,
and then you've got Tomiyasu, Kiriro in the middle, and Ben White on the outside. Tomiyasu can use both feet. You know, Ben White obviously, you know, can either overlap or on the outside, and I'll get to that in a minute. But you know, he can invert into defense as well.
Yeah.
You know, to go into the 3-2-5 that way. But then there's the other thing as well, you know, like with breaking down low blocks and chance creation, that I think maybe we should try if we are going to dominate possession against Brentford. The 2-2-6. Yeah, where Cedric almost like plays really high up.
Yeah.
Really, really high up. You know, like where he has like the license to get into that top line a lot more. Just to create an extra man. You know, just to give you that ability to kind of make more space, kick pockets of space. You know, in that final third, see if that helps. So yeah, I like the balance of it.
What are you going to give it as a rating?
I'm going to give that an 8 as well. Okay. The thing is, I agree with what you're saying about Cedric, but I'm looking at it purely from a squad management perspective, where you know what, he's just being used to keep someone on the bench, give him a rest, you know. And in this case, it's Gabriel, isn't it, and Zinchenko, and David Raya as well.
Yeah. Right, let's go on to what Tony said. That's a 4. Yeah, I'm with you, Tony. I'm stuck definitely on you. Yes, big up to our TV star Gumsa. I don't know what the TV program is. I think it's something to do with Married at First.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
But yeah,
his brother Terence, the big one, man. Big up Terence, man.
Yeah, so Gumsa was on TV. Tony's saying Luke was at Crime Stoppers. It was at Crime Stoppers, I promise. Gumsa was not on Crime Stoppers.
For a change.
But yeah, big up to the TV star Gumsa. Let's move on to another squad chosen by Richard, Karen, Tim, and Stuart. They've gone for a very different outlook. Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, White, Kivior, Sousa, Jorginho, Fabio Vieira, Smith Rowe, Koshi Dubry, Charles Zago Jr., and Keon Edwards up front.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. I'll let you dissect it.
I'm going to go with a 7. I mean, you know, like these guys, you know, have also been good in the under 23s as well. Like, you know, in that setup. But I'm going to go with a 7. I think there's just the balance is a little too much in favor of youngsters starting. But that's not to say that I wouldn't mind these guys sitting on the bench and being told that categorically, unequivocally at this minute, like 65th minute, you're going to come on no matter what. And, you know, give them minutes that way. But the thing is, in terms of like the positioning and the positioning sense of it and how it's balanced is good. It's all very good. But I just think, like a front line with 3 under 23 academy products against Premier League opposition. You kind of want to have like experience in each department, like one in attack, one in midfield, one in defense at least. You know, like just kind of like that marshals the others. And as you can see here, like with defense and midfield, that's fine. That attack is just not there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it can't work, but
yeah,
I think that's how I'd kind of gel it.
Yeah, it's no worries, mate.
You know,
Let's move on to the next squad, chosen by Albert and Zaina. They've gone for Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Saliba, Gabriel, Sousa, Jorginho, Nwaneri, Smith Rowe, Koji Dubry, Edwards, and Nketiah. What about this one?
I'm going to go with a 7 with this one. Like again, it's well balanced, like tactically, so to say. But I don't want to see Saliba and Gabriel start. I think like one of them has to rest. I feel like, you know, like Gabriel played like nearly all of our games last season. Saliba obviously couldn't because of an injury. So I kind of want to see these guys manage. We're seeing what's happened with Saka now. I think that does come down to, you know, not really kind of managing him in a way that maybe could have made the situation he's in avoidable. So I think that we need to bear that in mind with our centre backs as well. Nwaneri, why not? Man? I mean, you know, like he's performing really well, really exciting talent, youngest ever Premier League player to ever feature when he made his debut against Brentford. Funnily enough, so you know, why not? Why not give him the start?
I agree.
You know, the difference here with the front line, I feel like he's kind of understood what I said. You know, with the last team, with the assignment, you put Nketiah there. He's played in the first team squad. You know, he's played in Europe. You know, played in the league, played in cup competitions. You know, it just kind of brings a bit of seniority to that front line as well. So yeah, I really like this one. But that's the only thing. Just playing both those centre backs, I think you rest one of them.
Okay, fair enough. What I would say about Kane Edwards, for people that don't know who he is a very fast attacking striker. So he could play on the left and could switch with Eddie throughout the game as well, because Eddie can play on the left as well. So I quite like the idea of Edwards. Tony's given that one, the previous one, a 5. I get it. We gave up cups last year. I don't want to do that this season. We've got players to improve the squad. Yeah, there's been a different kind of ideas for everybody tonight, and that's fine. You know, this is why I asked for people's lineups, because everyone's opinion is different. We've got 2 more to go through. Luke has gone with a different system. 2 defensive midfielders this time. He's gone for Ramsdale, White, Waters, Tomiyasu, Sousa, Jorginho, El Neni, Smith Rowe, Koji Dubry, and Jesus. What about this one, God King?
This one's really good. This one's really good, because the thing is as well, you know, like I've been thinking this. I mean, you know, what people need to understand is in certain transitions, our shape can go to this sometimes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but I think you know, Jorginho doesn't quite have those legs, but El Neni does. But Jorginho has like the kind of ability to dictate play and tempo with like what he does with the ball. But he doesn't quite have the mobility, you know. So I think that's a really well anchored and balanced midfield with those two together, because it should give Jorginho a bit more time and space on the ball, having no one in the air with him, and someone else that he can kind of play off as well, because Elneny's not bad with the ball either. And what this does as well is this allows you to like push Smith Rowe really further forward, really, really, really high up, you know. And Smith Rowe, he's really good at arriving into the box. You know, we've seen what sort of shot he's got on him with either foot, and he can kind of link up the play with the wide players as well. And with Jesus, the only thing I would say is I don't want to see Jesus start in this game.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
you know, like, because I think like he's returning from injury, so I think we should give him the luxury of rest for this game.
Yeah.
And also, like I was saying as well, I think that's a position where I want to see what other players that are more on the periphery can do to step up. And they're going to need minutes and a chance to kind of showcase what they can do.
Yeah.
So, I think that's why I'd want to see Nketiah there.
Yeah, fair enough.
This game.
What do you want to give this as rating then?
I'm going to give this an 8. You know, because it's fairly well balanced. You know, from defense, midfield to attack. And I think, yeah, like it's like when we're playing against City in the coming weeks, for example, you know, with the sort of midfield and the creativity that they've got, if we've got Partey and Rice back, that might be something we want to consider. Do you know what I mean? You know, just to kind of keep a more kind of compact base and allow, like, what it does is it also allows the fullbacks to push higher up because they can split and cover the fullbacks.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Like, so that can be how you push your lineup. You know, doing it that way. And yeah, I really like this. It's a good shape.
Good.
And the right, apart from Jesus, the right mix of youth and experience.
Yeah, I agree. Tony saying about Chido Obi Martin. I reckon we'll see him in about 2 or 3 years within the first team, playing a little like sub appearance, and then 4 years I think we'll probably see a lot more of him, or he'll turn into a Balogun. I'm hoping he doesn't turn into a Balogun. I hope he stays because I think he's extremely talented. But we'll wait and see. Players can get injured in training, 100% they can, especially at the moment in all sorts of different sports, including NFL. It's ridiculous how players can get injured in training. Right, final squad, which is Moss's. Moss went with Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Kivior, Tomiyasu, Jorginho, Nwaneri, Odegaard, Nelson, Smith-Rowe, and Eddie. Doesn't surprise me that he's chosen Odegaard. It's his favourite player. But Gunnar King, give this one a rating.
Yeah, I mean, well, Odegaard's my favourite player as well, so it doesn't surprise me either. But I think he's one player we should absolutely rest for this game. No questions asked. Yeah, I think like he's playing a lot of minutes both for club and country at the moment. You know, at the moment, just with the numbers kind of dwindling in midfield. You know, you want to put a bit of cotton wool around your better ones. Yeah. And obviously he falls in that category. I like the idea of starting him with Nwaneri though, with Ethan, just because he's got that bit of experience. You know, to kind of help him out in midfield there. Yeah. Good back line. Again, Smith-Rowe playing a bit narrow, getting closer to Eddie. You know, almost forming a box with Odegaard and Nwaneri, an attacking box. You know, like, and then Nelson kind of like, you know, either cutting inside to join in or stretching down that line. And yeah, with Tomiyasu and Ben White, Chiruro, Saliba, you've got a really sort of solid balance there. Gives you the option again of either Ben White or Tomiyasu going forward. Yeah. Alternating that maybe. Jorginho just sitting in there. Either one of them can tuck in next to him or overlap. Yeah. Or underlap. You know? Yeah. A lot of tactical freedom with those fullbacks.
What are we going to give this one as a rating?
8. But the only, the only thing with it, I think, is the Odegaard thing.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. Right, let's quickly move on to Tony Fulbrooks to put his team in there as well. He's gone for Ramsdale, White, Saliba, Kivior, Tommy, Jorginho, Havertz, Jesus, Nelson, ESR, and Nketiah. So, because Tony put it in, please give it a rating, Gunnar King.
White, Saliba, Kivior, Tomiyasu, Jorginho, Havertz, Jesus, Nelson. Is he playing Jesus or Nelson as one of the 8s?
I'm going to guess that...
Or is he using... Oh, right. Is he using... No, he's using ESR as ESR and Havertz as the 8s. Yeah, Jesus is... I'm guessing he's using wide on the left with Nelson on the right. That's what I do. Yeah. I mean, look, it's a balanced lineup. But I think Jesus is one of the players that I don't really want to start. I'm not sure how I feel about Saliba as well, but at least in starting Saliba, he's benched Gabriel. You know, just to kind of balance the amount of centre-backs you give him rest. And if anything, Gabriel is the one that's played more minutes than Saliba, if you look over the course of the last 12 months or so. So, yeah. I'll give that an 8.
Brilliant stuff. Thanks very much. Well done, Tone. You got an 8. Right, let's quickly get into some comments before we move on to the final part. Let's have a look. Where did we get to? Odegaard should 100% be arrested. Yep, totally agree. And I think for his mindset as well, he didn't have a great game on Sunday. I have to be honest. He could probably do with arrest. Good evening, lads. Hope you're well. Just coming from Mum's birthday meal. Happy birthday to your mum, Chris. Hope she's had a wonderful day. So yeah, big up to you, Chris. Hope you're doing well, mate. Isn't Nwaneri injured still? Not that I know of. It's news to me if he is. If I'm honest, I haven't heard he's injured. I know he wasn't picked in one of the recent games, but as far as I know, it wasn't down to a dangerous injury or a serious injury. I think it was just a knock, if anything. So he should be back. But this could be interesting. Gunner King, I will help you if needed, because this is going to be tricky, but it is the challenge. We're going to try our best to do it because it is tricky. Guys, let's do this. Right, so we all know the rules. 5 Brentford players, 6 Arsenal players. We actually use their formation, which thankfully is a 4-3-3, so we don't have to really think about it too much. Right, let's start with Brentford players. I will, if you say a name and he is injured, I will let you know. We'll have to choose someone else. So who are you going to start with first, mate?
Hickey, definitely Hickey, I think.
Right, where do you want to put him? Right back, left back?
Left back.
Left back? Okay, cool.
Yeah. Left back.
Okay, so that's your first one. Second player, please.
Wiss is fit, right?
Yeah, he's fit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put him in.
Where do you want to put him?
Oh.
Yeah, because he's versatile. So, and don't forget, you can't pick Saka because he is a doubt. So bear that in mind.
I want to put him on the left.
Okay. Right, your third player, please.
Janelt?
Yep, I'll just put him generally in the midfield because they're about the same anyway. Right, there's Janelt. Your fourth player.
Well, Premo's not fit, is he?
Was he on the list? I can't remember if he was on the list. Let's have a quick look.
If Premo's fit, he's definitely got to go.
I'm going to quickly change the screen, so I do apologise. He's not on the list, so you can choose him.
Yeah. Get him in, man. He's fit. He's good.
Okay. All right, so we'll go. So where do you want to put him? Because he can play down the middle, right?
If Saka's out, play him on the right. No, actually, no, wait. Play him through the middle.
Okay.
Put Cozy on the right. With those three, I think that's a good balance.
Okay. So your fifth and final Brentford player, please.
Oh yeah, I don't know who else is fit. Because I don't know. Like, sorry.
No, it's all right. What kind of player do you want? Do you want a defender? Do you want midfielder?
Probably either a defender or a midfielder. One of the two.
Okay.
I think.
I know Norgard's fit. Onyeka's fit. I'm trying to go through their. Onyeka,
yeah.
Yeah, you want Onyeka?
It would. Yeah, it's a choice between Onyeka and Norgard, to be honest, but I'm going to go with Onyeka. He's an exciting talent.
Right.
And obviously Rice and Party are out, so
yeah.
You know.
Right, this is the interesting part. Now the Arsenal players. So you can pick from whoever's available.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter if you pick Jesus, because this doesn't matter for tomorrow. This is the challenge. So, the goalkeeper, who are you going with? Ramsdale or Raya?
I'm going to go with Ramsdale.
Okay. Right back. Benjamin White?
Yes. No, Walters. Real Walters I'm going to go with.
Yeah, but don't forget, you can go with the strongest lineup.
Oh, right. Yeah, right. It's not like based on like playing tomorrow.
No.
Yeah. Go with Ben White. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay,
Strongest
no worries.
lineup. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the
Ben
challenge.
White.
This is against two Brentford people today, so you need to go the strongest you possibly can. Silva and Gabriel, I'm guessing at the back. Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, you know what? In which case, instead of Ramsdale, I would have put Raya.
Oh, okay, I can change that now. That's fine.
Yeah, if that's all right.
Yeah,
because I thought I was in the completely wrong mindset there. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all right. This is the challenge. This is where you can just have a bit more fun. Right, the final midfielder.
Yeah.
Who are you going to pick there?
Odegaard, definitely.
Okay.
100%.
And down the right, obviously you can't pick Saka. So do you want to put Jesus out on the right?
Yes.
Okay. Right, so this is Gunnar King's team. He's gone for Raya in goal, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Hickey, Odegaard, Onyeka, Yannout, then Jesus, Mbeumo, and Wissa. Very good team.
Could you swap Jesus and Mbeumo around?
Yeah.
Because I think Jesus through the middle would be better. Sorry, I think that's just the last adjustment that makes sense to me. Yeah,
okay.
That's better, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I am the judge, so I will decide if your team is better than the two that were picked by Brentford, which I'm just going to bring up now. So these are the two teams. I'm going to bring them up a bit bigger because I can't see them. Right. So,
Potter.
Now, I'll go with Barney's first because he is an automatic loss. You will not be surprised what player has automatically ruled him out.
Who invited Mope, man?
There you go. Even you knew that. Barney's known me for quite a while, and he chose Mope. I don't know why.
Over Jesus.
I know.
Wow.
He went for Raya, Hickey, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Yannout, Onyeka, Odegaard, Jesus on the right, Mope down the middle, and Wissa. I'm sorry, Barney. No Mope. Just no. Right, so that one's cancelled. We'll move on to Natalie. She's gone with David Raya, Ruslev, who I actually do like, Saliba, Gabriel, Hickey, Odegaard, Godos, Havertz, Wissa, Gabriel Jesus, and Lewis Potter. Now, I'm not the greatest fan of Godos. I have to be honest. He just doesn't interest me every time I see him play. I do like the defence that she's chosen there. I do like Ruslev. He doesn't get talked about enough. Lewis Potter, very good. Wissa, as I've said earlier, he's one to watch. I get why I honestly do think she picked Kai because I know she fancies him. So I think that's why she's gone for Havertz, if I'm honest. Sorry, Natalie, I'm outing you there. But I know you fancy him. So I think that's why she picked Havertz. But I have to be honest, Gunnar King has gone for a way better lineup. It just fits better. Mbeumo is in there. For some reason, I didn't pick him. I was quite surprised neither of these two picked Mbeumo. It doesn't surprise me they picked Raya in goal because obviously it's one of their own, but currently loaned out. But it's kind of allowed because he's loaned out to us. So you can pick him. I know I don't allow loaned out players, but you can with this because you've got a kind of a get out clause. But yes, Gunnar King, well done, mate. You win this one. It was interesting by Natalie. Natalie did choose Barney. You know me not enough. Mope, seriously? What the heck? That's just madness. Right. Before we get into the predictions, just want to quickly go through some comments that have come through. Do you think that Arteta should focus on big trophies like the Champions League, the Premier League and the Champions League and not take the Cup so seriously? After all, Klopp did the same and won the Champions League and League back to back. Yes. However, don't just give them up. Don't just go, nah, whatever. We did that a couple of times last season. And it didn't look good. But the fans didn't like it. I didn't like it. As long as we put effort. If he puts 11 youth players out there tomorrow and they perform brilliantly and they lose 4-0, then big up to them. They've got some match day experience. They've got some proper experience against a Premier League team. I'm happy because there's something that come out of that game. Last season, we weren't doing that. We were just giving up games. I hated it. I think that Ange would have been the happier of the two managers after Derby, as his team was playing away. His first game versus Arsenal, first game in the league, and the lack of goal-scoring number 9. I'll disagree with the goal-scoring number 9. He doesn't like a goal-scoring number 9. He likes someone that works hard. Oh, sorry, mate.
And also, I would like to reaffirm that one team is not happy with the draw. You know, one team has been celebrating it, puffing up their chest about it. Yeah, I just want to point out to reiterate that we are not the same.
Yes.
We are not the same. Arsenal and Tottenham, fair enough. They did what they had to do. I'll give them credit for turning up on the day and playing well. Yeah. But we are not the same. We're aiming for different things. We've got loftier aspirations and capabilities as well. Credit to what they're doing. It looks like that there is the start of maybe something there that they're building, with Ange and the squad he's put together so far. And if he gets more time to develop it, maybe. But yeah, you can see the clear difference in the fan base, and I think that mirrors expectations really.
It does. It's mad. The stuff that we're hearing, because we're in a WhatsApp group with Tottenham fans and United fans and Liverpool fans, and honestly, all they're doing is trying to banter us. I'm like, seriously, you're celebrating a draw. We're not celebrating a draw. I'm annoyed with a draw. But that's the difference between the two sets of fans, I'll be honest. Look, Tottenham were the better team. They should have beaten us, and they didn't. So that's their own problem. Deal with it. For Brentford, due to their woeful start, I think the game offers some respite. But if their league form doesn't improve soon, especially as they lost to Everton, yeah, that was a bad result, if I'm honest. Frank could be under pressure. True. Look, this is a results game at the end of the day. Thomas Frank is a very good coach. I think Ivan Toney has obviously been a huge loss. And look, it's going to be. It's Ivan Toney. As much as I'm not the greatest fan of him himself as a player, very good. Challenge team, Strakosha. I love the fact you've gone for him because no one really talks about him, and they've gone with Flecken in goal. And honestly, that guy, he's a bad goalkeeper. Hickey, Saliba, Zanka, Norgard, Jorginho, Mbemo, Havertz, Jesus, ESR, and Nelson. I like that you've gone for something different, Tony. I really do. But yeah, Gunnar King still beats your team. But honestly, mate, that's a really good effort because you've gone with Zanka. Not a lot of people even know who he is. But yeah, he's a very good defender. She said thank you. Mate, as well.
The way you've got Norgard and Jorginho together, you've got someone with legs to cover the spaces. And then Jorginho can just kind of just dictate, take that deep kind of quarterback role.
Yeah. He's fought hard about that. That's a really good effort.
Yeah.
Because it's not that easy, the challenge. That's why it's called the challenge, mate. It's really tricky, especially when half our squad is out, half their squad is out. It's really tricky this week. She said, thank you, the house may as well. Bloody Went's house with the amount of flowers. Mate, enjoy it. Let your mum enjoy it, mate. Should be a good game, this one. Yeah, it should be. Malpate in lineup, get in the bin, most ludicrous thing I've seen. I agree. It was ridiculous. I will have words with Barney, I promise. The Gunnar King wins hand down. Look, you need. I agree. You need a gong or something for an automatic. Don't tempt me. I love creating videos. I've created a VAR one, which everyone was loving at the weekend. Don't tempt me. Do not tempt me to make some kind of gong for it. But it's madness. Celtic didn't have a goal scoring. Yeah, exactly, mate. Chris, you know exactly where I was going with that. Kyogo never played like that. And he's the Son. Basically, Son is the Kyogo for this lineup. So it's going to be great. 2 months. I'll give them 2 months until they want Angel. I don't think so. I think Tottenham will do okay. I'm not going to say they do amazing stuff like some turns.
Look, for me, I think given how they finished last season, it's kind of similar to us, isn't it? Look, we finished 8th and then we finished 5th. At least at the very least, get back into one of the top 2 European competitions. But I think they've got the capability to make the top 4. Man United don't look like they want it. Chelsea don't look like they want it. Newcastle, they're starting to pick up steam in their latter games. Good draw against AC Milan in the Champions League, but the Champions League might stretch them. Tottenham, they don't have that luxury, So they got more time to rest their squad, more time to work on tactics on the training pitch. So yeah, I think like could they crush that top four party? At the moment, it's looking like they could. I think them and Brighton are the only two that look like they want it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think Arsenal, Liverpool, and City, I think, you know, they're looking like a cut above. Man City and Liverpool are looking at like a cut above us, and then we're looking like the best of the rest at the moment. Along with maybe Brighton, you know, they've got a case as well. I think they've looked very good. I think we look more controlled, but they've been more dynamic. How they create chances, more fluid, more dangerous on the front foot. And yeah, you know, obviously Tottenham as well. I think it's the same. You know, I think they've looked better on the front foot than us at the moment. So I agree what you were saying about Arteta, saying how can you say that we're performing as well as we did last season? I think the depth and the quality's improved with the squad, but not what we've been seeing on the pitch. But it's okay, you know. I'm not like I kind of like expect it when you're bedding in like new players, and you've got injuries as well, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the way I see it.
Mate. I agree. Right, let's move on. What's Chris saying? Chris has put a 2-1 prediction, mate. I've put it down, so thank you for that, Chris. Spurs best is top 4 under Ange every season for me. Yeah, I don't see Ange being a high caliber coach, like long term. I think he's the perfect person right now to get him playing very good football, entertaining football. Do I think he's someone that can challenge the Premier League title? No, not for me, if I'm honest. Look, he did very well in Celtic, but yeah, Premier League's different. Music to my ears, Liverpool getting recognition. Yeah, to be fair, you know me and what Gunner King's like. We're very non-biased as well. We can talk positive about other clubs. City, Liverpool, Arsenal, top 3 in any order for me. Yeah, 100%. If Arteta stops trying to be Pep, we will improve. I will totally agree with that. I don't want him being Black Pep. Gunner King, what's your prediction for tomorrow? I know it's a tricky one because it's League Cup. We don't know what the teams are and stuff like that, but let's have a go.
I'd like to see a 2-0. I'd like to see a clean sheet in this game if possible. Yeah. But you know, I think like I'll just take a win. You know, if we do lose, I'm not gonna like, you know, providing we don't lose in a really bad manner. Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, I think, you know, 3 competitions to focus on, probably, you know, the maximum. I'd rather focus on the FA Cup. But I want to see players that are given a chance to state their claim. I want to see who can step up, who can show that they want place in that first team, and that they're willing to kind of put in the sort of standout performance that makes you start asking that question.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. Sorry, man, I dropped my head.
It's okay. Connor King's just dropped one of his AirPods, people. Tony, you've gone for a 3-2 to Brentford. Mate, there's nothing wrong with that. Tony Fulbrook's gone for a 3-0 to Arsenal. I'll be honest, I'm not confident. I think we'll lose. I think we'll lose 2-1. I just think Brentford will be up for it more than we will.
They'll play a lot more. They'll play a lot more of their first team players, won't they? You know what I mean? I think. But look, at the end of the day, yeah, you know, I think, as I said, you know, Carabao Cup, I'll take what I get with it, to be honest. And like longer term, you just want to give people a chance, man.
Yeah, you do.
See what they can do.
I've heard that Arteta's going strong. I don't know how real that is. Look, Arteta can say anything in a press conference. Doesn't mean he actually means it. Let's be honest. He's talking to journalists. They're not going to go, oh, he's not going to say certain stuff like, oh, I'm going to go weak. I'm going to go weak. I'm going to bow out to the league. He's not going to say that. He's going to say he's going to go strong. He can say he's going strong by picking El Neni, by picking Tomiyasu, by picking Eddie, by picking Smith Rowe, because for him, they're all important squad players. So he's not going to say, oh, well,
they've all had first team minutes as well. So
yeah, exactly.
You know.
So it's just a clever way of doing it by Mikel. Right, Gunner King, really oh, hang on, let's quickly go into these last few comments. Not knowing who each team will select, I'll say Brentford go stronger than we do, and we unfortunately lose 1-0. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm seeing it, Luke. Arteta's got to worry about fan base reaction. Not yet. Not yet. I think we'll see. We'll see how the season unfolds. Gunner King, thank you ever so much for coming on. Where can people find you, my friend?
I can be found Gunner King 14 on Twitter, also on TikTok. Here on the Armoury, going to be now that I'm back, going to be regularly kind of like up on here, and Deluded Gooner, I sometimes feature on his channel. AFTV, if I'm at the home games, jump on some of their fan cams from time to time. There's going to be more features coming up. Some GT Sports the other day. Check out my timeline on Twitter. I'll usually say what I've got on, or have like content from other platforms that I've posted on there as well.
Brilliant stuff, mate. Cheers. I will be definitely back Friday. I've got a Bournemouth preview. I think GTalks is joining me for Friday night. Sunday, people get excited. Arsenal women are back. And I'm doing a watch along. Yes. Yes, I'm excited to that. I will be doing a watch along. I have got a new countdown for the ladies because they need their own countdown. They shouldn't just have the men's countdown. They should have the women's countdown. So I've got that sorted for them. So guys, I will be back definitely Friday and then Sunday. You might see me here and there as well. It depends what needs to be done. Obviously, we've got a reaction to do for Brentford. I might do that Thursday daytime. Not sure yet. We've got to wait and see what Gumsa can do. And then obviously the Bournemouth reaction needs to be done as well at some point. So you might see me to do that as well. I don't know. But guys, you will see me anyway. Thank you ever so much, everyone. Thank you, Gunner King. And we will definitely see you all very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.